Most people think being smart is about memorizing facts, quoting books, or chasing perfect grades and acing exams, unaware they're memorizing the map instead of exploring the territory. You see it every day, the paradox of the brilliant mind. The world is full of people who climb the highest academic mountains only to tumble over the smallest emotional hill. They hold degrees that promise wisdom, yet their choices defy logic. They possess the kind of high IQs that could solve the world's greatest puzzles, yet they crumble when faced with the simplest pressure. It's a question that hangs in the air, a whisper that follows us through life. If all that intelligence and education is the key, then why do the smartest people make the dumbest decisions? Here's the truth. Real intelligence isn't about knowing more. It's about thinking differently. And today, I'll show you 5 mental shifts that put you ahead of 90% of people. These aren't tricks, they're habits. Habits that make you calm, sharp, and almost impossible to break. If you want to be the person everyone quietly respects, the one who doesn't need to shout to prove they're smart, stick with me until the end. Because most people never figure this out, but you will. Let's start with the first mental shift. Shift 1. Don't argue to win. We've all seen this story, the courtroom drama, the high-stakes debate. We're taught that an argument is a battle to be won, a zero-sum game where one side gets to be right and the other is just wrong. We walk into our conversations like a lawyer delivering a closing argument, desperate to dominate, to prove our point, to land the final, crushing blow. But what if the courtroom is the wrong metaphor? What if the goal isn't to win, but to understand? The smartest people I know, they don't enter a conversation with a shield and a sword. They step in with a flashlight. They aren't there to conquer, they're there to explore. They don't say, I'm right and you're wrong. Instead, they ask, what makes you feel that way? What were you expecting? Have you considered this approach? They don't attack, they stay calm, curious. And because there's no threat, the defenses come down. The other person opens up. They stop guarding their words and start sharing their heart. And in that vulnerability, something powerful happens. The truth reveals itself, not as a weapon, but as a discovery. That's the real power. It's not about defeating people, it's about understanding them. And it turns out that understanding is a far greater victory than simply being right. If you master this, you're ready for the real game changer. Wait till you hear the next shift, because it doesn't just change your perspective, it fundamentally alters how you see failure itself. Shift 2. Don't obsess over the moment. See the bigger picture. Most of us are trained to see life as a series of moments, each one a pass or a fail. You ruin a presentation, and it feels like the end of your career. You get rejected, and it feels like the end of the world. You miss a goal, and you think, I'm a total failure. We get so caught up in the drama of that one moment that we treat every setback like a final, tragic scene from a movie. We get lost in the feeling, and we stay there. But what if I told you that's the wrong way to watch the film? What if instead of obsessing over the one scene, you zoomed out and looked at the entire system? This is what truly successful people do. They don't see failure, they see data. When they mess up a presentation, they don't say, I suck. They ask, what caused this? When they get rejected, they don't shut down. They ask, which pattern led me to this point? When they fall short, they don't sulk. They ask, what can I tweak and test again? They don't treat life like a TV show with endless drama, but as a system to be optimized. They understand that no single event is final. It's all just feedback. And that's why they grow faster than everyone else. While others are busy replaying the sad scene, they're already back in the lab, calibrating the machine. Because when you zoom out far enough to see the bigger picture, there are no failures, only inputs and a clear system. But even systems can drain you if you don't master the next question.
Shift 3. Filter everything by asking, is this in my control? Think about how much energy you spend trying to control things that are beyond your control. The news, traffic, what someone else thinks, or that one coworker who just won't stop gossiping. Most of us burn out on this. We get so wrapped up in trying to change the world around us, and when it doesn't work, we start questioning our belief system. But what if you had an anchor, a single question that could instantly bring you back to shore? Here's the shift. Ask yourself, is this in my control? If the answer is yes, then you act, you do what you can, and you focus your energy there. If the answer is no, then you drop it, you let it go, no questions asked. This isn't about being detached from the world. It's about mastering yourself. True control isn't about changing what's happening outside of you, but about focusing on what's happening inside you. It's about channeling your energy where it actually counts, on your actions, your mindset, and your own life. That is how smart people stay calm while everyone else is losing their minds. So remove the noise and sharp laser focus on what's in your control. Are you there? Let's move to next shift. It's the one most people can't handle because it feels uncomfortable.
Shift 4. Embrace silence. Have you ever noticed how uncomfortable silence makes people? The moment the noise stops, they rush to fill the void with a nervous laugh, a random comment, or an unnecessary argument. They're afraid of what might happen if they just let the moment breathe. But the most powerful people don't run from silence. They own it. Instead of talking, they're listening. They're not just waiting for their turn to speak. They're absorbing everything around them. They don't interrupt. They understand that silence isn't a vacuum to be filled. It's a canvas where truth is revealed. Noise can hide so much, but in the stillness, you can hear what really matters. The less reactive you are, the more powerful you become. Silence makes people lean in. It makes them curious. It gives you control without saying a word. So, the next time you feel the pressure to speak, try this instead. Embrace the quiet. Let the silence work its magic. This brings us to our last shift, the most powerful one, the one that separates calm thinkers from everyone else. Shift 5. React less, absorb more. Think about the last time life threw you a curveball. A boss gives you a last-minute project, a car cuts you off on the highway, or a friend says something that stings. What did you do? Most of us default to a gut reaction. We lose our temper. We get angry. We panic. But what if there was another way? The high performers have mastered a different kind of reflex. It's not about reacting. It's about pausing. In that space between the trigger and the response, they take a breath. They watch the situation unfold. They observe their own feelings without acting on them. This brief moment of being observant is pure power. It's a secret weapon that gives them an immense advantage. It allows them to see what everyone else misses, to find opportunity in the chaos, and to choose their next move with intention. This is the final shift. React less, observe more. It's the difference between being controlled by your emotions and controlling your own destiny. When you become the calmest person in the room, you become the most powerful. And that's a presence no one can ignore. So the final thoughts. You don't need a master's degree. You don't need to be the loudest or the fastest learner in the room. You just need these shifts. Understand people and their pain points instead of arguing to win. See the bigger picture instead of obsessing over the moment. Focus only on what you can control. Embrace silence. Observe before you react. Most people are caught in a relentless current. They're rushing from one thing to the next, overreacting to every obstacle, and burning out their own energy just to keep up. It's a constant chase, a race against an invisible clock. But what if you could step off that treadmill? What if you could build a different kind of strength, a strength that doesn't shout but endures? This isn't about hustling harder. It's about building an inner fortress. If you begin this journey now, you won't just feel more intelligent, you'll become more intelligent. You'll be calmer, sharper, and utterly unshakable. While the world chases after noise, you'll be building something lasting. If this idea resonates with you, if you feel it in your gut, don't just keep scrolling. This is your chance to declare your intent. Drop a comment below and type silent strength to join the 10% who choose a different path. And make sure you subscribe. This is just the first step on your journey to becoming one of the unshakable few.